my video response and contest entry for Amazing Phil is clumsy thing. And this was me when I was in 7th grade. I was in track, and that's a great start, right? Track in 7th grade. Okay, and I was really big into hurdles, like the things that you jump over in the races. And I mean, I had done a few races before this, like the point in where the actual story is. It's like the preview. But so I had done a few races, but they weren't really big. There were like 5 people doing it. There was like 3 hurdles. They're really far apart. It was not a big deal. But this was a big race. There was like 10 people I was racing against, like just on my thing, and then there were, because that's like how many could fit, and then there were people racing after me for the same race. You see who would win? It was big, and I was getting nervous because I mean, like when they were setting up the hurdles, they were really close together. they were a lot closer together than the previous hurdles that I had done. So I mean, I was nervous, but I was excited. I was like, this is my first race. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna get a trophy, a medal, whatever they gave out in 7th grade. And so I was pumped. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna win this. And so I was like super excited, but I was like a little nervous. And I was talking to the person next to me, but then it was like time to get ready. So I was getting ready, and then like go. So I was running, jumped over the first hurdle. I was just running, jumped over the second hurdle, jumped over the third hurdle. I was in 3rd place. Kept going, jumped over the 4th hurdle, run, jumped over the 4th hurdle, and fell smack dab on my face. I face planted the floor. So I'm crying. I landed on my arm, like I caught myself on my arm, so it was like, which hurt a lot. And my knee was all scraped up, but I kept running. I was bawling my eyes out. I was in last, room was ahead of me, and I was running. I was like, oh, and I kept going because I wanted to finish my race. I was like, maybe I'll catch up to them, which was a stupid thought. So I kept running and bawling my eyes out. I just wanted to end. On the second to last hurdle, I fell again and face palmed the floor with my face and my arm. I used the same arm to catch myself again, and I heard a crack. But I like stepped over the last hurdle, like dragged my foot out and like crawled to the finish line. And they were like fixing my knee, and because it was really scraped up and bloody, I was like, my knee doesn't even hurt. I didn't know that existed until you pointed it out. It's my freaking arm. And they were like, well, does this hurt? I was like, kind of. Does this hurt? A little bit. Well, since you're not crying, because I wasn't crying anymore, because I was like, I have to be tough, stick this out, I'm a boss. But so since I wasn't crying anymore, they're like, well, since you're not crying, it's probably not broken, which was a nice assumption. So I was like, oh, pain, arm, knee, but oops, what the heck? But malfunction. But anyway, ignore that, if that even existed. Oh, I don't want to redo this. Okay, so as I was saying, so I had to run the next race because I was in for the next race too. But the 7th graders had already gone, so it was like the 8th graders, which were like, you don't go against the 8th graders. But I did, because I wanted to run my race, because I was like, yeah, I want to do this. I'll win this one. And so I'm like running, I'm like dragging my knee, so I get there in time. Then I run that race. I get dead last in that. It wasn't a hurdle race, it was just a race. So I get dead last in that race too. And I go home, and we like use those little braces. And then I'm at school the next day, and someone who was there, like wants to see my arm. And so I take off my brace because I hadn't really seen it. And then my arm, it looked like I had a bump, except it was my bone. Like my bone went like that, and it was like purple and green. It was broken, and so I'm like, ooh, that does not look good. So when my mom got home from work after school, I was like, hey mom, look at this. She's like, oh, we have to take you to the hospital, but she couldn't go, like because the hospital was like closed or something. I don't know why we couldn't go that day, but I think it was something to do with my sister. So she had to go the next day because we had to immediately get it cast, or else it could have been serious damage. And so my mom goes to work the next day to say that she needs to get my arm cast like immediately because it was like usually seriously broken. And they told her they didn't believe her that my arm was broken. They thought she was trying to get out of work, and they said that if she walked out of the room, she'd get fired. And she had to get my arm cast. So because of my arm being broken by me tripping in the hurdle race in 7th grade, my mom lost her job. It was a teaching job, and we were moving, so it wasn't that like she taught like elementary. No, it was preschool, so it wasn't like too bad because we were already moving, but still they fired her because I had to get my arm cast, which was really bad. And she didn't even tell me until like a while later because she didn't want me to be upset. So that was ridiculous. And then yeah, and like for the last month of school, I had my arm cast and I quit track. And people made fun of me so much. Every time I tell someone or my family tells someone, they make fun of me so much. Because how do you break an arm in track? I mean, it's an arm, it's track. It would at least be a leg or something. But so that was my epic clumsiness fail, and it cost my mom her job. But we moved and we got a new job, so it's all good.